Lieutenant Tellis sat on the edge of the floor of the Calibri airship, his feet firmly planted on the footrails outside and slightly below the bottom of the small Coronair aircraft. He looked out at the city below. Sydney was an impressive city, with its bays and numerous rivers snaking their way inland. Although the landscape and vegetation were alien to him, there was still a familiarity about it all. He had experienced the same feeling on numerous excursions to the surface, first in Geneva, then in Port Gentil, Miami, and Winnipeg. It seemed that there were similarities in all places inhabited by humans. The environment and landscape might change, but the many ways that human beings created their pockets of civilization all shared common threads, even 1,000 light years from his own homeworld. Winnipeg was greener, Master Sergeant Jahal said over the lieutenant's helmet comms. Indeed it was, the lieutenant agreed. He shifted his position for the third time since departing the airfield. Master Sergeant Jahal noticed the frequency with which his commanding officer adjusted his position. "Are you certain you have fully healed, sir?" The lieutenant did not respond, instead only looking at him from the corner of his eye. "How many of these security inspections are we going to do today?" the master sergeant asked. "At least 6. Don't you think that's pushing it, sir?" "Why? Afraid you'll get tired?" "Never happened, sir," the master sergeant grumbled. "Still, 4 would make more sense, don't you think? I mean, they're just recruiting stations, after all." "Perhaps," the lieutenant admitted. "But 4 out of 28 of them have been attacked by Jung sympathizers in the last 2 days. How many people do you think will volunteer to help defend the planet if they're getting killed just standing in line to sign up?" "Not as many, I suspect. Then again, the ones that do will be the truly brave ones, will they not?" "Or the truly stupid," the lieutenant added, still without smiling. "Besides, I suspect that these demonstrations are being organized by Jung operatives." "Or Jung sympathizers," the master sergeant said, "whose lives were better under Jung rule. You yourself stated that the governments of this world were, for the most part, divided, self-serving, and corrupt. Surely many of the Terrans recognize this as well and favor Jung rule over the previous ruling factions." "A possibility," the lieutenant agreed. "But until proven otherwise, it is better we assume that the Jung are still present on this world and are well supported and organized. To assume otherwise would be unwise." "Of course," the master sergeant agreed. "Lieutenant," the pilot called over the comms, "urgent traffic from the Sydney recruiting station. They are under fire." "So much for the inspection," the master sergeant said.